Fantastic evening. Welcome to Cricket 360, another exciting episode that we have lined up for you. And this time around, we're coming from a land of 1,000 hills. The capital of Rwanda, Kigali, is where we are. Magnificent scenes that you have. I'm sure you can see what we have behind us. A beautiful piece of architecture defining Rwandan cricket. My name is Tawanda Eli. I welcome you to the program. Today, I'm not alone. Not that I'm a Liverpool fan. No, I don't support Liverpool. Manchester United is who I support. I have Davis Karashani, former Ugandan captain, commentator, wonderful friend. Good evening, Davis. Good evening, GLA. Right, we are here courtesy of the ILT20 Continental Cup powered by Fancode. It's been 2 days of cricket that we have watched, but we've had 4 games that we have covered in that amount of time. Davis, let's walk us through those 2 games. Day one, we had quite a couple of matches that started it off.
Yeah.
How do you summarize day one, looking at the teams that played first up?
I think the one for me, especially the game between Uganda up against Botswana. I think Botswana nearly caught Uganda off guard. I thought they were in cruise control of the first 10 overs of that particular inning of Uganda, whereby they had, I think, Uganda at about 70 up for 3, until, of course, Alpesh Ramjani walked in at that particular point and put together a partnership with Juma Miyagi, and then staying on the wicket to ensure that he made full use of that last over of that particular inning to get 28 in that over. So I thought Botswana had been off. They had an opportunity to actually look to start the tournament off by picking up a big scalp in Uganda. That did not happen. Later on in the afternoon, of course, that game between the host Rwanda up against Nigeria, who are simply, they've just come here as the champions of that qualifier in Abuja a few weeks ago. You felt that a game that was not supposed to have been as close as it was ended up going to the wire, and Sylvester Okpe actually doing the job for his side.
Fantastic piece of information on the 2 games that were played yesterday. Let's go back to bisect Botswana versus Uganda. You spoke about Alpesh Ramjani coming late down the order and providing that enough firepower with his 50 to get Uganda to 164 and putting up a target of 165. Uganda seemed to have enough of batting power.
Yeah.
How has that helped them throughout the course of their game so far?
I think the fact that they have a long batting unit, you feel like it allows the top order to play with a lot of freedom. They do not need to worry about either losing too many early wickets. They don't have to worry about being pegged back too much. They know that their side has a lot of quality. They bat very, very deep. I think perhaps Tila Cosmas Chota himself, who is a big hit of the ball. So they feel that if they can make full use of the 120 balls in T20 cricket. So for me, I feel like the team that they have carried into this particular tournament is a sign of intent that they actually mean business in this tournament.
Meaning business with the bat, but also they've been meaning business with the ball. There were very key moments that spinners came through and they picked up wickets. Cosmos picked up 3, as well as Frank picked up 3. How do you make of the bowling unit of Uganda?
I'll tell you for starters is that the team that they've carried here has 6 quality bowlers. We're yet to see one of the right-arm off spinners in John Joseph Baguma himself. He is a quality of spinner, and I hope he actually gets a game in pretty soon. I feel like the unit, especially of the bowlers, is complete. Today, Henry Senyedo picked up his 100th T20 international wicket. That says a lot. The opening bowlers are bowling at 350. You say 135 kph click. So clearly they have pace in them. The spinners are quality. They have a good combination of an experienced right-arm off spinner who has played for over 20 years. They have 2 left-arm orthodox spinners, and among those being one of the bigger all-rounders in that Ugandan side.
That's what has been key for Uganda. They're poly side, both with the bat and also with the ball. We move and we just take a glimpse at Botswana. They have been doing fairly pretty well. They can limit teams to sizable totals that they're able to chase, but they've struggled with anything that is beyond the 150 mark. Where have they fallen short? Because pretty much when they begin a chase, yes, the opening partnership seems to fire, but somehow they lose it. Where is it going wrong for Team Botswana?
I think for me, let me start with what has gone well for Botswana so far. They have won 2 tosses in a row. That's important. So luck has been on their side. The area of concern for me is their bowling. Their bowling basically innings is that they've been basically two extreme halves. The first 10 overs they seem to be in total control of whatever is happening. They've won 2 tosses in bowling conditions, done reasonably well. Today they had Nigeria on the cards at 55, I think, for 1 after 10. So you feel that they are back in the second half of the innings when the bowling is really having a challenge. Yesterday they conceded, I think, 80 runs to Uganda in the second half of the 10 overs spell. Today they conceded 130 runs in 10 overs. So that for me is an area, massive area of concern. If they can look to peg back some of these batting units, you think that if they look not to allow the batters to get over 130, they are batting in it, whereas it is fragile, especially that mid order. The fact that now Reggie Honde got some runs today, you feel that it will give a bit of confidence to him. If you can get one other person to put their hand up and actually stand to do it, I think that Botswana unit is not as bad as so far the cricket they've displayed.
That's what's been struggling with Botswana. They've been in two halves, as you say. First up in their bowling attack, they look well, but towards the latter stages, towards the death overs, that's why they're called death overs, because pretty much, yeah, you are put to the test. They have struggled with that. So that's where they would need to rectify. Now we look at today's games that were played. Botswana in action up earlier, a repeat of their last game in Abuja, taking on the same opponents, Nigeria. They put up 181 in Abuja. This time around, they added 4 runs to the total, putting up 185. Botswana getting to 150 mark. It's something that they didn't do. They lost by 77 runs, but it was quite a different outcome today. The result, they say they lost by 6 wickets, seems quite heavy, but they did push a bit, especially with Reginald Leon coming in with the batting efforts. How would you sum up their performance today?
I think for me, their performance today was obviously much better. And not the fact that they conceded the 130 runs, of course, in the last 10. I felt they batted a lot better because they didn't get as much support that they are reasonably very used to, especially from the opening batters. Today, I think a Classman did not get more than one, he probably got under 10. A Karab only got about 26. So they needed someone else to put their hand up and to actually do well. And today, Reggie Honde, with all his experience over the years, he put his hand up and managed to get 60 not out. So you feel that if they can get an extra batter, Valentine and Baza probably, Tatayone, Tose, I feel like they have some quality in that unit to actually do a lot better than the results they put up.
Yeah, Botswana falling off there. If they had 2 or 3 more batters would have chipped in around 20 or 30 mark, you feel that they would have had a chance. We move away from that game and we come to the last one that we just had, the host Rwanda taking on a polished Uganda that we spoke about earlier on. Now they went about business, and boy, oh boy, did we see some magnificent hitting and performance. We'll talk about Robinson Obuya. Magnificent star performance.
Strong lad.
Very strong. 83 runs from 44 deliveries.
Yeah. As I said earlier, really, in the commentaries, that he plays with so much freedom and his ability to strike balls that are not exactly there for the hitting, but the fact that he has very good hands and he uses those hands to his advantage. He has the ability to open up the offside as and when the need is required, but also is very good off his hip. So he does play on both sides of the wicket and he can be very, very dangerous and difficult to actually close down.
Now, he had quite a handy performance with the bat. Not that anyone else didn't contribute. There were quite a number of contributions. Danish Kumar Nakrani didn't do much destruction as they wanted because he was run out, but particularly came in hand with fiery, as well as the captain, Riza Alachai, was looking good. So all in all, there is that performance by Uganda that is very polished with their batting unit. But over the downside, we saw 3 run-outs, courtesy of some terrible communication. What happened there?
I think it was at that point where by about just 18 balls to go to close that particular inning out, you felt the sense of urgency overtook the emotions of the players. That the communication obviously broke down the first run out of Alpesh from Jani, totally needless, you would say, because Alpesh had managed to simply sweep the ball down to, you felt what was the gap down there at the mid wicket, and Dinesh Nakrani did not feel like he seemed like he was up for the run, and he was not able to send Alpesh back. Alpesh unfortunately lost his wicket there. Following delivery, this time around, Dinesh Nakrani hits the ball to the mid wicket. What looks like an obvious 2, Achalam drops his bat on the line, is not able to come back, makes a loud, clear call for anyone who has ears to listen to know. But unfortunately, Dinesh yet again continues and again gets himself run out. Even worse, Fred Achalam, who had been a casualty in that run out, similarly, but I felt for Fred Achalam, his run out was more of a sacrificial wicket because he understood that he needed to get Miyagi on strike.
Right.
Yeah.
Sacrificing his wicket so that the power hitter can be on strike. And he did make great use of that opportunity by striking it big. That was Juma Miyagi pushing the total that Uganda were able to post. Now we take a look at the run chase of Rwanda. They have been a pale shadow, you would say, of what they were years. They had been looking to be some positive, yes, but however, it's not coming together for Rwanda. Where do they go wrong?
I think for me today, to be honest, is I felt that they were obviously, in my opinion, way out of their depth, especially just how well Uganda had batted. Cricket is a momentum sport. Going into the halfway stage, all the momentum in the world was with Uganda. Rwanda came out with a bit of, you could tell there was a sense of fright. uncertainty and obviously disbelief. They're chasing a 196 would obviously have been a record run chase on this ground for Rwanda in the 18 overs. So they did not get out of first gear for me. So for me, I felt for them to get to 77, they showed a bit of character, especially the opening batters and their youngsters. Whereas the president of Rwanda, those two gentlemen have been playing for Rwanda for quite a long time. So it was good to see them out there tussling it out against bowlers that are bowling at 135 clicks. So for me, that was the biggest positive for Rwanda in this particular one.
As a former captain, I'll put you into the coach's chair for Rwanda. What positive things can you say to the youngsters to bring them back after such a defeat? Because it's been 2 defeats in a row, but still the tournament has still got a lot to go.
I don't think for me, if I were in Coach Lawrence Manlani's feet, I would not be too worried about the defeats. I would be more concerned about the process of how the results are actually occurring. I felt yesterday Rwanda, whereas they had struggled, again, 2 halves of batting, they batted fantastically well in the first 10 and then let it slip away in the second 10. They could have easily gotten 150 to 160 against Nigeria yesterday. So I felt they were literally about 30 runs short yesterday. Then with the ball, they actually made something out of it. This didn't seem like, when we came back from the break, it's of the drinks break, actually the rain interruption break, asking Nigeria to simply chase 42 runs in 7 overs, it seemed like to be pretty easy for the batters. But Rwanda managed to put together a couple of wins. They managed to literally swing the magic wand and made a game out of it. So they pushed the Nigerians to the wire itself. So I felt that the quality is in that Rwanda. They have a couple of guys. They just need to find some people that can actually put their hands up and actually be match winners for them.
Match winners indeed. They say that no one will ever ring a bell for you to actually have that moment where you say, I am here to stand up and be counted. You just need to take the bull by the horns. That's what's needed, not only in Rwanda's team, but also for Botswana as well, as they are pegged down at the bottom of the table. While Uganda and Nigeria are the 2 poly-sized, having every department click for them. They'll be in action tomorrow against each other. We'll come back again tomorrow and just give you a review about how those games have been. Have a look at the log table in terms of how teams stand out so far, having played 2 games apiece, and you can see where the 4 teams stand in the ILT20 Continental Cup, powered by Fancode. Oh, it's been wonderful having you here. We're back tomorrow with another exciting episode where we review the action that has been happening. My name is Tawanda Eli. Thank you so much, David Krashan, for coming through. And then tomorrow, catch us again. See you again for the next one.